What's up, guys? You got Sturkules here catching you up on some of the IPL Open action. This is my round of 32 match against Trickno and the Texas Magnemites, Sturkules and the Utah Copper Rajas, and you can see the team that we're going to be playing against. So real quick, here's our IPL Playoffs 2. Let's make sure this fits on the screen. Okay, cool. So here's my squad that I'm trying to do to face off. What you see me facing off against is pretty much what I expected. I'm sure there were a few other threats I prepped for, but if you've forgotten, it's been a while since I've uploaded, and since it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded, you probably know how this is about to go. But we have 8 Mons, and these are the 6 that I brought. Khaleesi, the Latias, Stored Power, Surf, Substitute, and Calm Mind. I made a mistake. This is a set I had that I meant to change to Psyshock and forgot to. So just because Stored Power, I had to get up at least 2 Calm Minds to be able to do stuff. I just felt like Psyshock was more handy. Forgot to change it last minute, so that was a pretty big bummer just to start off the match. We had Slaying Mantis, the Scizor with Protective Pads, to not have to worry about Flame Body burns from a Moltres or just any, what's that word? Rocky Helmets that we would have faced. Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Superpower, and Knock Off. Just kind of did a lot of work against the team. I originally wanted to be Choice Banded and just hit so hard because 2 Superpowers, I think, killed a Steelix, was my thought with Choice Band. So I was really excited about that, but then had some very good counsel that Moltres could just come in all the time, and I was going to eventually get flame bodied. So Protective Pads was the play. Zion Drizzlemson with Damp Rock, bring in the rain like usual. Obviously wanted to run heavy duty boots, but I just felt like I needed Damp Rock here because the fact of the matter is Choice Band Kronos just looked so good in this game. Now I almost did a Swords Dance setup, but I just felt like he really didn't have a Liquidation and Rain switch in. Liquidation, Rock Slide, Aqua Jet, and Flip Turn. Just doing a whole lot of work in Rain. Pone Meringue, the Marowak with Thick Club with Bone Meringue, Rock Slide, Iron Head, and Stealth Rock. I guess the Bone Meringue was to be able to break subs from things. I can't remember why else I brought that over Earthquake. And then Juju Smith Rooster with Leftovers. Telepathy because I didn't want to set up Electric Terrain for his Zeraora. Nature's Madness, Toxic, Roost, and U-Turn was kind of just supposed to be a good answer to Zeraora. I could take pretty much any of its physical hits, roost it off. I could Toxic things. I could Nature's Madness, the Zeraora, or the Steelix, yeah. And Roost and U-Turn and Toxic. Now, I almost wanted to have Dazzling Gleam on there to still be able to hit Zeraora, but this is the set I ended up deciding to go with, so let's hop into the battle and see how it goes. As you can see, the team that we're playing against is pretty threatening. Moltres, Steelix, Clefable, Zeraora, Slowking, and Lickitung. This is just a stupid thick team that's going to be really hard to break, isn't it? Luckily, seriously, Choice Band Kronos can do so much in the right situation. So, he leads Clefable, I lead Scizor, and I go ahead and just click Knock Off turn 1. I'm going to get rid of those heavy duty boots, which is so nice, and I'm not going to get burnt because I have Protective Pads. So I am going to get Toxic on Zion Drizzlemson. Very good prediction. Good U-turn here. I think I just U-turned myself, yeah, expecting some sort of switch. Now I'm just like, hey, let's start clicking Liquidation early. And I'm so stupid. Licky has Cloud9. You remember me saying nothing switched into a Choice Banded Liquidation in Rain? Well, guess what? When you have Cloud9, you do switch into it, okay? We see Flip Turns doing a lot, but that's only because of that crit, which wasn't too big of a deal because of Leftovers and Wish. It was getting that back easily enough. I start getting up a sub thinking it's going to try to Toxic me or try to read a knockoff, and Calm Mind's not going to be that great because, hey, I don't have Psyshock, which probably wouldn't have done a ton anyway, but here I made a mistake. I should have just clicked Surf. I was at +1. I needed to start doing damage to Steelix to wear it down for other things. And I thought, let's keep setting up in front of this thing's face. It's got to break my sub. Dragon Tail, right? Well, guess what? It's got Roar. It doesn't need a Dragon Tail here. So I got greedy. Got roared out. Really hurt me. I lost all that for nothing. Should have clicked Surf. Once again, you're going to see this thing can switch into things pretty easily because it's ignoring the rain boost. So with Pwnmerang, we find out we're slower, so we lose our Thick Club, which is awful. Because now we're just not doing damage, man. Which is a pretty big bummer. We see Pwnmerang doing an embarrassing amount of health. And at this point, all I'm looking at my team is like, how do I break Licky Licky? So I go into Juju Smith Rooster because I'm like, I just have to Toxic this and hope that it's not carrying Heal Bell. Get red, baby. So I do U-turn in case it's sturdy. So now I'm going into Drizzlemson. He gets up his rocks. So now I got to make a decision here. Do I defog? I really don't remember what happens for a lot of this. So I just Scald. Okay. Play it safe, right? Yeah, I do not remember a whole lot of this battle. So we defog here. It's like I'm watching it for the first time too. Okay, here we're going to Roost. But that Toxic is just racking up, man. Look at that. We get hit by the Hurricane. Luckily, we do not get confused. We go Kabu. And Licky Licky's still just, it's so annoying, dude. We're just going to keep flip turning because we got to get some sort of chip down on this to be able to get it into range of being able to 2-hit KO it. So we can kind of just keep clicking Knock. He roosts here. I think I clicked Superpower. I don't know why I clicked Superpower there. Like, I really didn't think it'd click Flamethrower because it felt so obvious. Maybe I thought Licky or Steelix were coming in. Not really sure why I clicked Superpower, but it did, hey, it did some pretty decent damage. So, now I go here, U-turn. Not loving the chip there. We see a pretty nice double here. Click Nature's Madness, probably expecting Steelix to come in. That Moonblast hurt. We see this Clefable. Pretty offensive, if I remember. Because, I mean, we're max HP. And then we get predicted. Actually, that's just a great play by my opponent. Because, like, Flamethrower is going to do enough to kill Coco there. And actually, I was live recording this. The recording sucked, so I didn't keep it. But I remember calling that. I'm like, I'm going into Scizor here, even though you're clicking Flamethrower. So, like, I knew it was happening, but I guess I just felt like there was nothing I could do. Because just a good bring. And here's what sucks, man. Okay, so it's a tough game. They have great counters to my team. The offensive Clefable's cool. I am struggling to kill this Licky Licky. But the one thing I needed here, like the one thing keeping me in this, is if I can wear down Licky Licky, Choice Banded Chronos Liquidation just wins. It does. Just chip things down a little, and this just goes bananas. And so, like, I get it. Flame Body, pretty big chance that's what's going to happen. That's the first time that Flame Body had a chance for him to activate because I was pads on Scizor. So it's a 30% chance for that to happen. I have a 70% chance of still kind of being in this game. And then I get burnt. Like, I was just so mad. I realized that his prep was better. I realized that I'd been outplayed. But all I can think of here is, cool, now I just lose. Because Clefable couldn't just come in there and soft boil. I'm Choice Banded. If I'm not burnt, I kill Clefable there, even without rain. So I was tilted. See here, we're going to go in and show. That's still doing 54%. Now I didn't have the rain, so I couldn't do that. So now I die. Pretty sure it just wouldn't have lived. So yeah, we're able to pick up a Surf kill with Khaleesi. But here it just kind of sucks, because it's like, what do I even do here at this point? So I start clicking Calm Mind. The Seismic Toss, I was surprised, but I guess they're thinking let's for sure break sub, but he has knock. Yeah. So now I can do a lot with stored power, but it's not going to be enough. I don't know, man. I was just so mad about that burn. So, and yeah, like I said, that was my only chance. I am very aware of how much I got outplayed here. At this point, I'm just clicking buttons because I know there's no chance. This is the Toxic. Really no biggie, because, like, do you not have your Earthquake? I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of letting it play down. In fact, let's put it on fast from here, because, yeah, here I just lose, and, like, really playing for differential didn't even matter because I'm eliminated, which is fine. I don't mind getting outplayed and losing. I really don't, because, like, I kind of expected to lose. Like, I was just happy to make it to the round of 32, and I was happy to even just make the playoffs in the IPL Open. So this was a really fun experience, and I was pretty happy. Like I just said, there's sometimes you feel like you have one thing that it's like, this is either keeping me in, and maybe I can actually win this, and then of course something like that is obviously going to happen. So I was just really mad about the flame body burn. So, and then at this point, I think his only move may have been stored powered. So for a second I was kind of annoyed, like, dude, just kill me, you've won this, and you're setting up. But I think they had to do this to be able to kill. I don't know. So anyway, we lost. We made it to the round of 32. We got knocked out. I'm okay with that. Let's do a quick recap on how the rest of the league did. I'll be right back. Real quick recap of the round of 32 battles. I'm not actually going to be looking at the battles, just highlighting the NPDL coaches. We had 5 coaches in the round of 32, one being Zach Hoekstra and his Chicago Black Luchas. Unfortunately, taking a pretty big 5-0 loss to the Toronto Blue. And Zach had barely lost. I think he'd only had 1 loss in the regular season portion. Had a good win in round 1, but was unfortunately knocked out in round 2. Zach, you're still a legend, my man. Very proud of how you played. Keep your head up. You'll bounce back. Next up, Sfeel and his Scarfed Sfeels, the newest member of the NPDL. Not yet a coach, but hopefully someday will be, but he's in a lot of leagues and does great in all of them. Was able to knock out the Boston Badoofs, which was really nice, because the Boston Badoofs, I believe, were who knocked Sorbs out. So it was nice to get that little revenge there. And that is the Boston Badoofs, not Connor the GOAT Boston Badoof. There's a difference. And we like Connor. We're not too big on the Boston Badoofs knocking out our NPDL guys. So we got Henrik and his Alakazams putting up a big 3-0 win over the E-Town Escavaliers. If I remember right, that was a really close battle. Obviously, we had our loss to the Texas Magnemites. And here, in the round of 32, the last coach, we have Regal with a big 5-0 win over the Torch Chicagos. And there was actually some drama in this one because the challenger accidentally put in the wrong tier for battling, so the timer was out of whack. So Regal actually timed out at one point, even though he should have had like way more time. But he was up very big at that point, and like I said, it wasn't his fault that the guy put the wrong timer. So he was awarded a 5-0 win, very well deserved. He's going to make it on to what would have been, I guess, the round of 16 here. So looking at this real quick, we had 3 guys make it through. We had, once again, Regal got a close 2-0 win over the Immunity Idols, meaning he is going to be Elite 8 bound. So that's pretty awesome. And then something unfortunate is the Scarf Sfeel got matched up against Henrik and his Washington Alakazams, and you know, we want both to make it through, but when they play each other, only one can. Sfeel's a great battler. He actually gave Henrik, I believe, his only loss of the IPL Open divisional rounds. But Henrik was able to get his revenge here and move on to the Elite 8. So we're actually going to be looking at the Elite 8 matches that Regal and Henrik played because they were pretty hype. All right, let's do this. I'm showing you Henrik's match. I'm showing you Ty's match. Back to back. Just going to give my thoughts as things go. I didn't play either of these, so I don't know exactly what was going through their heads, but I'm just going to give a quick commentary as things go. Henrik is Gretecki here, playing against the Alka Hooligans. And obviously, you know, we are rooting for Henrik. He's a beast. I do appreciate that the Alka Hooligans do have Nidoking, but I want to watch that Nidoking faint. So let's go. So the leads here, we see we've got Eldegoss versus Weezing, and Weezing just goes straight for a Sludge Bomb. I love that play. The Stun Spore is missed. That is really unfortunate. We see the taunt onto the incoming Vaporeon, which is really nice. Lets it not be able to wish, lets it not be able to do things like that. And he's going to just try to get up a Thunderbolt on that. This is going pretty fast, but we see the Psybeam on Weezing, which is some serious heat. This is an offensive Weezing, guys. He's looking to do some damage. We already saw him do a huge dent with Sludge Bomb, having Thunderbolt and Psybeam also. Water Absorb is really cool with Trace to keep it from flip turning and scalding and whatnot. So we see the Psychic here, not going to do a whole lot of damage. Vaporeon's pretty freely able to just Wish, as Hendrick's going to kind of just keep spamming Psychic to get some damage off on this thing. That special defense drop's really unfortunate because this thing does like to be bulky, but the Pain Split play is sweet. He's able to get just a ton of health back because Vaporeon has a hulking HP stat. We see here into Urshifu Rapid Strike. Unfortunately, having to take the Toxic Spikes damage, but this thing's just going to start bopping things. Look at that close combat, just obliterating the Eldegoss. And Hendrick strikes first. You love to see it, but that toxic damage is really racking up. Not going to want to hit onto that Persian, which is a fast parting shot, but also could have Rocky Helmet or Fur Coat. So the taunt onto the Vaporeon is very clutch. Once again, can't use Wish. Shadow Ball doing decent damage though, and he keeps getting those drops, man. I cut it out with that. So Gardevoir is going to get back in, Trace Water Absorb again. Onto the Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping for a flip turn prediction. There would have been really sweet, but since the taunt is ended, it's going to be able to start doing Wish, I'm guessing. But that is going to be able to get some big Pain Split damage back onto the Gardevoir, who's taking a decent amount from that Shadow Ball, but luckily it does not have a Spadef drop this time. Getting Wally the Weezing back in to kind of just keep hitting things. That's pretty good damage onto this. I mean, it's only got so many wishes. It's nice to stall those out a bit. But at a certain point, taunt, really good play there, as it's going to want to protect and wish and whatnot. So good play. He's probably going to take Shadow Ball damage here. But on the having it taunted, I think is probably worth it. Now, does he double here? I can't remember. No, he just gets some decent damage off onto the Persian. He's going to pick up a kill with knockoff. See the expert build on Weezing. That's pretty cool stuff. So even through the parting shot, you do have to remember that the good U-turn play to get some pivoting, but Urshifu Rapid Strike is going to be critting. That's some big head smash damage. You love to see those 80% landing. Very cool set. Running an offensive type Aggron. And we see this Nidoking is Poison Point instead of Sheer Force. Very surprised. I expected to see in the comments that he did that on accident, but it looked like that's what he planned. So, Poison Point Nidoking. Heavy Slam doing just a ton of damage. Taking Rocky Helmet damage is okay though, because you getting all that damage on a Alolan Persian is nice. It's going to keep just clicking Parting Shot, which is just great tech. That's one of the coolest moves in the game that I'm kind of glad doesn't have super wide distribution. Pain Split coming in clutch, dude. I love this Gardevoir set. Hendrick knows how to use him, a Psychic type. That's why he's got the Sabrina icon. That's why he's the Washington Alakazams. He is the Psychic Master. I think we're going to see Surging Strikes here, yeah. Always going to crit, that's no hacks, but the Rocky Helmet does hurt a little bit, plus the poison. But since this is faster than anything, he can get off all 3 Surging Strikes as long as this isn't a Rocky Helmet. Celesteela, it's not, because we see it's Citrus Berry, which is kind of cool. So it's going to Autotomize, which is a little bit scary. Does that mean this is offensive? We're going to have to see. Zeraora comes in to kind of start seeing what type of Celesteela this is. We see it switch. So maybe it's not carrying Earthquake. The Thunderbolt into Nidoking is not going to do anything. Gardevoir once again tracing, taking big damage and falling to an Earthquake. You don't see that Gardevoir die very often. But now we're seeing this Hulk of a Piloswine come in. Clicking Curse, which is very cool. Upping that attack and defense. Doesn't matter that it's going to be slower here. How much is this Avalanche going to do? Not a whole lot. Does that mean this is a defensive Celesteela with Autotomize? Very interesting sets. Like, we're seeing a Nidoking with Poison Point that has Earth Power and Earthquake, and now we're seeing a speedy Celesteela that's speedy for the sake of just being able to stall things out with Leech Seed. But we see that clutch Rock Blast, dude. Hendrick just brings the right sets. Like, his prep is just incredible. Like, there's no other word. It is absolutely incredible. We're going to see the Behemoth go down. And here, like, you're going to kind of see some 50-50s. Like, first off, everyone watching has got to be thinking, what are you doing bringing in Zeraora? But at the same time, you can't bring in Aggron on a Nidoking. But what's Zeraora going to do? Grass Knot's not going to do anything. We saw it special, so like something like Knockoff's not going to do that much. Henrik is just going to come in and hit him with a Hyper Beam. And somehow this guy had the intuition to switch here. I don't know what he was thinking switching. Like, you take the Grass Knot or the Knockoff, right? But he goes Clef. And at this point, I'm like, dang, I think he won because of that play. Because Henrik is going to have to recharge here, as Clef, what, is probably just going to soft boiled, yeah? So what's the double here? What's Clef going to click? That's what we need to know here. He doubles into Aggron. Is this going to pay off? Clef clicks Moonblast. That's not going to do enough. Aggron's going to be faster probably, right? Heavy Slam kills, and that's a great play because now if Nidoking would have switched in, Aggron killed. Now you let this die. Is Hyper Beam going to hit? Is it going to kill? Yes and yes. What a clutch win. Dude, Hyper Beam Zeraora. Only Henrik, man. And this is why Henrik is just a Pokemon god, dude. Like, and I'm sure he had a few friends helping with his prep to come up with these amazing sets. Either way, dude. Amazing. Like, I'm just kind of speechless at how cool those sets were. So, flying high off one big win here, we got Henrik into the Final Four. Like I said, Henrik is the reigning IPL Open champ. As you can see, this is some crazy high competition. Like, I was lucky to even make the playoffs, but we got these guys pushing for the Final Four. Not surprised at all. Henrik and Regal are some great battlers, and here's Regal's battle here. This Chris Magikarp guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a really good guy, but right now he's a villain to me because he knocked out Cole out of the playoffs. So, you know, got to stick with our NPDL bros. So we want Ty to come in here and just get some revenge for the NPDL, but also further his cause and make the Final Four. So let's see how this is going to go. What are these leads going to be? Now, I do remember Ty's sets a little bit, just from some of the NPDL guys helping, but I really don't remember exactly what he's running. So we see a Tornadus versus Rotom Wash set going up against each other. This is going to be interesting. So he's just going to get off the Toxic here. He's going to take pretty big damage from a Volt Switch, but when you're regen, you can afford to do that. Getting this Rotom Wash Toxic is really good because honestly, like, it does a lot of work. Like, outside of Toxic and Zarude, it's hard for him to kill. So Victini's behind a sub. That's a little scary. What's Regal going to do to break this? He's going to take a Toxic, and he's going to be able to Scald and break that sub each time. So Colossal does get some pretty cool coverage. So what else does he got? We are going to see that he has Flame Body because of the Trace, and he's going to be able to get up Stealth Rocks. So that's going to be pretty big because his opponent is not huge on Stealth Rocks. In fact, you're going to see pretty much every time he gets this in, Rotom's going to want to come in and defog. That kind of lets Regal get Zarude in for free. So now Zarude can kind of click a button here. Expecting the Power Whip, he's going to bring in his Dragon. Protective pads just for that, in case this was Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. The very smart U-turn. And we're just done with this thing early because this Mamoswine is a beast. Ty's been killing it with this whole time. Mamoswine's just so fun to use. And no matter what set you run, but man, there's just nothing like a good choice banded Mamo. And that Bolt Strike is doing a lot, but luckily Thundurus is going to stay alive and it's going to be able to get some good damage with Knockoff. And we're going to see Leftovers are gone, which is going to make it harder to set up some subs and come in on hazards because it's not heavy duty boots, obviously. So Stealth Rocks are coming back up. This is probably going to force another defog. Zarude just gets to keep coming in though. Is this the time he clicks Power Whip or does he keep predicting and U-turning? U-turn just seems to be a really safe play because he's not going to stand it. If he does, that's still going to do good damage. So back into Colossal, interesting play. He just wants to keep pressuring with rocks, and I love this. Like, he's not giving up any ground here. This is scary because now Slurpuff can just kind of set up with Belly Drum, and it's like sometimes you just got to wonder, does that just win right away? But Registeel is a bulky boy. The Choppleberry comes in clutch, and he is going to live that. Plus Heavy Slam. Easy to forget that Registeel gets Heavy Metal because it runs Clear Body so often. That low kick is tough. Registeel was defensive. I don't know if that crit mattered. I would assume that it maybe did, unless Sneasel was banded, which it very well could be. So we're going to see Body Press doing a lot. But, dude, Porygon's just so annoyingly bulky with Eviolite. So it's going to kind of be able to just stall out with recover, and get some big damage off with Shadow Ball. So the burn is okay. So the burn's actually like, it's nice for residual, but now he can't Toxic it. I don't know if he's carrying Toxic on anything else. We knew he was obviously on the Torn, so maybe the burn was for the best. But we see Mamo just going to work. Choice Band, knock off. I think this is banned. I actually don't remember. But that's huge damage. That's all we know. So that knockoff's going to hurt. But we see Colossal with the clutch burn. And there's luck, and then there's just skill. Like, Colossal knew, hey, I need to get a burn here. So it clutched it, so that it could get up another layer of spikes. That's clutch Colossal, baby. So now we're going to see the Colbur Berry. Now, since he was burnt, it wasn't taking too much anyway. But that's some big, big, big body press damage because Slowbro has so much defense. And Victory, the Victini, is going to die. This guy must be an A-Drive fan because we got V for Victory, Victini, and he named his Rotom Wash Voltergeist. And I'm pretty sure A-Drive always does that too. I miss A-Drive doing battles, man. It doesn't seem like he does much competitive content anymore. At this point, Chris Magikarp is basically saying GG, kind of conceding. I kind of kept expecting Cole to, or not Cole, Regal to teleport here into Mamo so he could knock off and then kill with something later, because I figured you want to get rid of this Eviolite. He's clicking power up. I think he's just going to stall him out of recovers. But, like, this is just different styles of play. Like, obviously, he's got the better style of play because he's the one making it to the Final Four. But, like, I was kind of, like, yelling at my computer here, like, dude, you turn out so that you can knock off. Then he gets frozen. No! Oh, hacks. Does that mean this thing can pull it back? And at this point, I keep kind of thinking, I'm like, dude, just go into Mamo and knock. Go into Mamo and knock. Maybe he was worried about, like, Tri-Attack or something, though. But now he just gets to come in and click Earthquake. I think he was just going to try to keep wearing this down until Mamo could just come in and destroy things. Guys, we got Ty, a.k.a. Regal, and Henrik, two just completely goated NPDL players, making it through to the IPL Open Final Four. That's the good news. Do you want the good news? And now you want the better news. I almost said, do you want the good news or the bad news? There is no bad news at this moment in time. Because the better news is that they're not playing each other. So if they both win, they can meet each other in the finals. So you better believe I'm covering their next battles too. And if they make it to the finals, this is going to be very hype. And if they make the finals, I'd love even to maybe get to interview them. So, but guys, I'm going to hop on out of here. I know my battle itself was pretty disappointing, so I wanted to bring up the spirits. Seeing Ty and Henrik just come in and just play some amazing games to make it through to the Final Four. NPDL is riding high off of these battles, and we're so excited for them. So, guys, keep it up. You got this. I'm going to hop on out of here. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great night. Peace.